Hello again, it's Jake Birkett with another Pico-8 video. So in the last one I was struggling to get used to the syntax again after an absence, and I tackled a tricky problem, which was making the enemies retain their spawn status as you go off the screen. So if they've died, they don't respawn, which involved quite a lot of fiddly stuff. I could do it by just having one giant list and iterate through that every time and check the enemies, but I've ended up with two lists, one for just sort of specifying where the enemies are on the screen, and another list for the active enemies on the current screen. Okay, so one list is for the whole game and one is let's just find this view. So yeah, the enemy data is for the whole game, for the whole game, and this enemy list or table is just for the ones on the current screen. So in theory it's quicker to iterate through the ones on the current screen and do bullet tests and so on, because it could have been a bit bad if we iterated through all of the ones in the game. If it was fast enough I wouldn't have to care and I could just do that instead. But optimization is in my blood from the early sort of 8-bit days. The only bit that's not very optimized is when you kill an enemy, it has to look through this whole list and find it and delete it, which is a bit crap. But I can't really think of a decent way to do that at the moment. If it was one thing I could have done is something like in the old days, store an offset on a table or something, and with the original enemy sprite, and then just literally zeroed it out at a memory location instead of a for loop, which would have been faster perhaps. Okay, so enough waffle, let's look at this again. So at the moment the new enemies, they're just moving on a set pattern at the moment. I want to stop them doing that and I want them to dynamically bounce off of these edges, so I'm going to have to sort of give them a bit more code. So let's go and do that. So there should be a move enemy function somewhere. Move enemies, here we go. Yeah, pattern 0 is bounce in a line, so that's the current pattern for those enemies. But what happens at the moment is it's got a range counter, and it says when the range sort of has been met, turn around. But I don't want to do that anymore for these. I need to do something else. So I'm going to have a thing, I'm going to ignore range counter for those. Bounce in a line. Else do some other stuff down here. Okay. So if pattern equals 0, then this is just going to reverse them. It should still compile. Yeah, okay, yeah, fine. They're not actually moving at all. So well, that's kind of weird because I thought I'd set dy somewhere. Move sprites. Yeah. Oh, they're just flipping every frame. Let's just get rid of that. These should now move off the screen down. Okay. So we need to do a bit of sort of intelligent collision detection first. I'm just seeing if this uses tokens. It does it? Yeah, so no, I'm looking down at the bottom of the screen, this 2506 comments don't use up any tokens, thank God, but actually entering that uses none. That's good. So we can comment freely, thank goodness. So we're going to do some collision detection. Reverse direction if hitting a solid. Okay, so we know the current coordinates of the sprite, just x and y. We need to double check the sort of directional stuff first. So if s dot let's do dy because I'm going to code that first. Dy is greater than 0, then else if s.dy is less than 0, then okay, let's deal with these. We'll do the x's in a minute. So we need to get a pixel, or just, yeah. So I've just had a ham sandwich and I've got a cup of tea here, so I might move the microphone away occasionally. So I've got a choice actually. I could sort of cheat and sort of, instead of just checking the pixels, I could say if the y coordinate is exactly divisible by 8, we know it's sort of hit something, providing I make all the enemies, you know, this sort of size. We know it's hit a wall, and we can just do mget on it instead. So I might just do that. It's a sort of nice little cheat instead of, yeah, pixely perfect stuff. Yeah, I think x and y, I can't even remember if x and y are like the top left coordinate or the middle. I think they're the top left. So yeah, I wonder how we can do the, if divisible by 0, we need to use mod for that. So mod gives you the remainder, and when the remainder is 0, we know that it's on a fixed boundary. I guess it's a bit risky with dy's, delta y's, we're moving by 0.5, which is fine as long as it, oh yeah, it's a fixed point system this, so I guess it should work. Or maybe I'll just check the pixel. Because I've made some nice bits of code here. Map solid. You pass in an x and y. That's a map square. Pixel solid. Test if a screen pixel is solid. Yeah, that'll work. Though I don't know what's going to happen with the 0.5 values for these sprites. Not quite sure yet. Well, let's try pixel solid. Let's just see. So if pixel solid s.x, s.y, like it's just moved, and we're just double checking now. Whoops, then reverse it. Flip it round. Does that work? Yeah. Something happened. Looks like it went into it. Oh, okay. So if it's going down, I need to add 8. Plus 8. Really, I need a size sort of thing. Let's assume they're all the same size for now. It's a bit of a hack. It might be nicer if I do make a sort of local variable up here, just so we can tell what's going on when we read that code. I'm trying to figure out if they exactly hit it or bounce into it or what. We'll leave a gap. I think it looks pretty good. That's plus 8, right, so that's what if it goes beyond. So let's look at this one. We actually want to test y minus 1 rather than the current y, otherwise it's not gonna, otherwise it's gonna bounce before it hits something. And then we reverse it. Let's just check. Doink. Yeah, I think that looks good to me. So now we've got monsters or enemies that we can add to the map dynamically. The only problem is I can't specify if they go horizontal or not. Now I could generate a new sprite for them. You know, a different color if they go horizontally. or you know, I could put that sprite on instead of that one for when they go horizontally, but it's not very clear, is it? I've got a sort of idea. I've forgotten how to copy in this. Is it copy and then stamp? Is that right? How do you stamp? Left button. And maybe copy. Paste. Oh man. I want to copy this sprite. Oh, I don't remember the keys. It's telling me it's copied it. 16 times 9? What is that? Oh, do I have to copy, clone, stamp, paste, or left button? Nope. Wow, I don't fully understand what's going on here. Try it in this one. Copy, paste. Oh, that worked. Yeah, so I think I could do a horizontal version that doesn't actually get seen. So what I could do is mark this with something like, you know, that's just telling me it's a horizontal version of it. What number is that? 83. So let's put this on the map. Just realised it might go off the edge of the screen. That's something else we need to factor in. You know, I'll put it there. Go back to my code. When I generate the enemy, create sprite wherever it is. Make enemy. Right. If it's 64, then blah blah blah. What I want to do is (64) or ID equals 84, then do the thing. Oh no, this is wrong. This needs to go down here. Or ID equals 84, then do this, and I'll change the delta basically depending on what the ID is. So if ID equals 68, oops, then set the dy, else if ID equals 84, got to put in a double equals, then e.dx equals 0.5, so it start going right. End if, no, just end. Also I need to change the ID. ID equals 68. So reset to core animation. Okay, didn't like that. Or what's wrong with that? Okay. So it should look the same. That didn't work. I think it's because of the animation, is it? E.ID. There you go. Perfect. Now we've got to have some code in for the, it hits the bottom of the screen, sorry, edge of the screen. Move enemies. There you go. I haven't put the X stuff in yet anyway. I think I'm going to test this with one of these by just sort of destroying a bit of the scenery first. Oops. Zoom out. So it should just basically go off the bottom of the screen. Oh, it bounced. How strange. Why is that? I think maybe because of my pixel solid code that I've got in here. Yeah, if it's out of bounds it treats it solid. Nice one, past Jake. Though I might have ripped that off of a Pico-8 piece of code I saw somewhere else. Right, so that works. So we just need to copy and paste this for the X. Typo. Right. If dx, then sx plus size, y doesn't matter, dx minus 1, y is the same, dx. Let's test it. Whoops. That was done. I bet if I stream this live, people would be able to point out these dumb errors to me as I made them. Right, I feel like I need to fix the map now. I can hear my teenage son and his friend downstairs. It's kind of weird when you get teenage sons because you basically end up with another young man's voice in the house, and you're used to kids' voices before. And when they drop, you're like, who's that man in my house? Oh yeah, it's my son. It's very strange. Okay, so run that. We should see the X1 bounce off the edge and come back, bounce off that. Brilliant! That works. I guess there's also a sort of sprite drawing order, which is just how far up the screen they are defines which ones are drawn first. And because I'm placing them on the map, their coordinates can't be, you know, pixel perfect. They have to be in blocks of 8, but that's okay. Anyway, that's that. Good. I haven't done it for the other enemies though, so in fact, let's blast my way through. So those enemies there, I need to be able to add those and get them looping. I think I'll define the top left position. Yeah. So let's go across. Zoom in a bit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them. Now, I'm just going to set the room to be number, when I create the enemies, hang on, room to be 3, so at least we can, oh that didn't work, 2, so we can test it immediately. Oh, it's putting me in a wall. That's okay, it's enough to see if it's going to work. So this is all still correct, it's still creating them. Christ, look at that one down there. It's going off on one. Right. That's actually kind of cool. That was unexpected. Maybe I'll have to make an enemy bounce around freely like that. Let's add it to my list. Free bouncing enemies X and Y. Whoops. Okay. So yeah, they're being created, but not animating or doing anything yet. And I need to figure out why. Because of these other variables, no doubt. Range 2 times 8, dx, yeah, speed. All of those I need to pass into make enemy. So here we go. that. The problem is I can't change that range or speed via the map screen unless I do, you know, this thing where I have another sprite and it's got a faster version or something. Anyway, for now I'll just get this working. Yeah, I mean, that's it, it works. Oh, you know what? I think there's two lots of them. There's the ones I'm creating with the original bit of code that now needs to be destroyed. And in fact, yeah. Good, it works. Now, where did I spawn that enemy? Down near the bottom, but not too close. Okay, the horizontal enemy I'm talking about, I want to add that one back in. So if I find that sprite, 1, 2, 3, put it at 4, why not? A bit higher up. So we can kill that out. Should have those and that one moving across. Perfect. So all of those are completely dynamic now, based on the map. Let's reset the room. Run. Oh, 0. So to anyone external, this probably looks like it doesn't look any different, but actually it is different because of the way it's coded and the enemies, you know, not respawning. Yeah, it's tough though. Okay, I'm going to stop that there and then think about what to do next. Bye for now.